Elite Hair Care USA, Elite Total Body Care and Private Label Hair Care Company. So today is Sunday. Happy Sunday to everybody. Right now, I am about to start cooking dinner, so I'm actually making two different dishes. I'll be making some brown stew chicken as well as some pepper steak for the children. They don't really get a lot of steak or a lot of red meat, mainly because Junie does not eat red meat, but sometimes I will make it for them. So I'm also going to be making rice and pigeon peas, or rice and gungo peas, or rice and gandules. Everybody, or gandules, however you guys want to say it. Everybody has a different word, but I'll be cooking today, so you guys just kind of work with me. I do not like how my stomach, okay, there we go. All right, good. All right, so I actually got my pigeon peas out of a can. I did not do the fresh ones. So what I like to do is wash off a lot of that liquid that they have in the can that they use to preserve the pigeon peas. So I have it in some water here. I'm just gonna pour off the water, okay? And we are going to cook our pigeon peas and our coconut milk right now, where it'll kind of sit on the stove and go for about 15 to 30 minutes, the max. And then we will put our rice in. So I've already gotten a pot of boiling water. So I'm gonna bring you guys over here so you can see. Okay, so I already have a pot of boiling water here. I'm gonna go ahead, and I also put salt in the water already. I'm going to add some scallion, some thyme, which is fresh thyme, and then some pimento seed. So that's gonna go in there. The water already has salt in it. And then I'm going to be using half a can of coconut milk. Some people like to use coconut powder. You can use whichever one you prefer, but I'm gonna use half a can of coconut milk, okay? So that's gonna go in there as well. And then I always save some back. If I need to add some, I can. And then I'm gonna add my pigeon peas. And we're gonna allow that to cook or boil. Okay. So that is just going to kind of cook and boil, or whatever word you want to use, for a little while. And then once we start our food, that should be ready for us to add our rice to it. I also added some Himalayan pink salt to it. You can add adobo seasoning. You can add whatever seasoning you prefer. You can add to that. Okay, so we're going to let that boil. Pigeon peas is also known as gandules, or gungu peas is really what I've always known it as. My dad actually used to plant them in our yard, and then every couple months he would harvest them. And then it's always been a part of my life. So, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and get our steak ready. So for our steak, I actually went to Publix and had already, I purchased some top round for stir fry steak, but it is a little too thick in cut for my liking. Technically with pepper steak, you want it to be nice and thin. So what I'm going to do is slice it a little bit thinner, and then we will season it up. And then we'll also start cutting up our aromatics to give our steak time to marinate. So I went on Amazon and I purchased some new stainless steel bowls. These are actually my more favorite to cook with rather than the plastic bowls. So now I have a full set along with my other favorite one. This set comes with it came with 5 pieces or 4 pieces, and it was like 20 something dollars, like $24. I have the link in my Amazon store, which is also in the description box of this video. So if you go into the description box, the first link you see is my link tree. That is where you'll go to get to my Amazon store for you to get any of the tools that you guys hear me talking about. So I'm going to cut my steak up, and then we're gonna put it in this so that I can wash it. So the steak already comes kind of like in slivers, but I want it to be a little bit smaller. When I say smaller, I'm just going to cut it down to about half of what they've already cut it down to. Okay, because you do want it to be thin so that it cooks nice and quick. And this does not take long, and you guys know steak can get really tough really fast. So that's another reason why you want it to be nice and thin. A lot of times they'll use ribeye, and they'll buy the ribeye in its like large form and then cut the slivers yourself. But you can also do it the way that I did it, where you know, this is already kind of cut for fajitas. Hold on. My pot just boiled over. I had to take the top off. But yeah, as I was saying, we're just cutting it a little bit smaller than how they cut it, and then we will wash it. And I'm also kind of cutting them into shorter pieces as well. So if you like them long like that, you can, but I'm just making them into smaller pieces. My kids like steak, so this is something that they don't get to eat very often because I only buy it like here and there. So it's Sunday. That's another reason why I said I wanted to make them something different rather than chicken all the time. So they're excited. I'm actually not even going to use all of this steak. I think that's more than enough. All right, so I'm going to put the rest of the steak into a Ziploc bag. So I'm going to put this into a freezer Ziploc bag, and the rest will go into the freezer because I'm only making a small amount for the kiddos. And then I'm going to go ahead and wash my steak. How I wash steak, I put water like that. And then I take some iodized salt. And then if you want to use vinegar, you can. The salt kind of does it the same. What I notice when you use vinegar, it makes the steak more slimy. So that's why I like to use the salt. It's an abrasive, and it also helps to pull out moisture and toxins, that kind of thing. So you might notice that your steak changes color because you're using the salt. But you wash your meat however you choose. With me even doing this, this is kind of starting the tenderizing process too. Remember, salt can also be a tenderizer. And then just rinse it off again. All right, so the reason why I'm doing my steak first is because I want to season it so that it can marinate for about 10-15 minutes at least. And then we can start to cook it. Let me just check on my peas here. Okay. So for my seasonings, because we are doing pepper steak, I'm going to actually introduce you guys to a new seasoning, which is really not new, but in your eyes it's new. So I'm actually going to be using dry moon spice today, rather than the wet moon spice for my pepper steak. So here's the dry one, here's the wet one. Okay, so I'm gonna use the dry one today on the pepper steak, and then I'll use my regular moon spice on my brown stew chicken. Okay, so with the moon spice, I use a spoon. Here we are. So I'm gonna take a tablespoon here. Now this is dry, so remember, whenever you're using dry herbs can typically easily salt your food, so you want to be very careful. Also, if you guys notice, it already has pimento seed in it. Okay, it already has some pepper flakes in there. So this is the dry moon spice versus the wet moon spice. So I'm going to take a tablespoon of the dry moon spice. which turned out to be more than enough. Okay, so 1 tablespoon of the dry one. I'm also gonna take some of the green seasoning that you guys saw me make the other day. Okay, so I'm gonna take a tablespoon of green seasoning. If you guys wanna know how to make the green seasoning, there is a link also in the description box under my link tree for you to get to my other YouTube channel where you'll be able to see how to make the green seasoning. I'm gonna add some black pepper. A little bit of onion powder, which this one is new. Actually, I think I have one that's already open. No, I don't have another one. I think I used it already. So I'm gonna open this new onion powder. So a little bit of onion powder. Some garlic powder, which we're still gonna use fresh garlic as well, but I like to add the garlic powder. And then of course, you have 2 options. You can use a Scotch bonnet pepper or you can use Scotch bonnet pepper sauce. For me, I'm gonna use the Scotch bonnet pepper, but I'm gonna wait until I make the sauce and use that to fragrant the sauce. So what I'm gonna do is, in this case, I'm gonna take my spoon and just kind of mix this up. Leave it to my father if he's on here. He's like, no, you have to use your hand. I'm not using my hand today. I'm using my spoon for my pepper steak. Now, if you want to add a little bit of spice, you can just go ahead and add a little bit of your Scotch bonnet sauce. It will add a little flavor. It won't hurt. So I'm going to use a little bit, you guys. Not much at all. All right, so we have our steak ready. So you're gonna let that sit and just kind of marinate for a little bit. I'm just gonna leave it right there in front of me. And then in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and season up my chicken for my brown stew. So I already washed the chicken in vinegar, water, and salt. So we are gonna go ahead and just season it up. Hey, Grace. Yes, the moon spice will be available soon, you guys. Just chill, just chill. All right, so first things first, we're gonna go ahead and add our green seasoning. I'm gonna use a different spoon, mainly because, remember, Junie does not eat red meat, so I don't wanna cross-contaminate. So I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of green seasoning. And then after I add the green seasoning, I'm gonna go ahead and add my dry seasoning, which is the black pepper. So black pepper, a graceful amount of black pepper. We like ginger in our food, so I'm gonna add some dry ginger. Doesn't hurt. And then of course we're gonna add just a couple more pimento seeds just to help fragrant the food. Remember, the seasoning already has pimento seed in it. And then we're gonna add our moon spice. Okay, so I just rinsed off my spoon and we're gonna add, so I always mix up my moon spice before I use it. Make sure that everything's nice and incorporated. I have a big jar, so. Okay, so I'm gonna add 2 very graceful tablespoons of moon spice. Okay, so 2 very graceful tablespoons. All right, so those are the seasonings. We're also gonna add some onion powder, which I totally forgot. And then we'll add some powdered ginger, garlic powder as well. And then if you want to add a little bit of salt, you can. I would suggest waiting until your chicken is seasoned up before you add salt. Taste it to make sure that you need salt and then add the salt. All right, let me stir up my pot here. Check on my peas. That's the windows and door open. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my aromatics for My Christian, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my aromatics for my chicken, and then I'm also gonna cut up my aromatics for the pepper steak at the same time. So we will have two different bowls here. So this bowl will be for the aromatics that are gonna go into the pepper steak, and then we will add the aromatics in here for the chicken all at the same time. So of course, when you're making pepper steak, you're gonna use peppers, but at the same time, you can also use your peppers in your chicken. So I'm going to use half for the steak and then half for, well, that bigger half. So we'll use these two for the chicken. We'll use that for the steak. We're also gonna have a tomato. We'll have onions for both. I'm gonna split this in half. That'll be for the pepper steak. That'll be for the chicken. And then, of course, if you have shallots, you can use shallots as well. And then we're gonna add some garlic to both. So I'm gonna take out a couple cloves of garlic. Same thing for the chicken. A couple cloves of garlic. And then for my chicken, I'm also going to use a half of a potato. I like potato in my brown stew. And then we have our thyme and we have our scallion. So we're gonna use a scallion for the chicken and then also a scallion for our pepper steak. So that is our aromatics. The thyme we already know we're gonna be using, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and start our aromatics. So I just smashed my scallion and put it into the chicken. Same thing with the garlic. I like to kind of smash it down. And then you can rough chop it if you want. Okay, so we just put that into there as well. Let's go ahead and clean up our peppers. So I'm just gonna rough chop the peppers. And I ordered a onion chopper slash veggie chopper on Amazon. I also put that in the Amazon storefront so that my eyes won't continue to burn when I'm cutting onions. And then one tomato. You can use more than one if you want. It's really by choice. Same thing, rough chop my tomato. Would you guys believe my eyes are burning already? I can't wait till this onion chopper thing comes from Amazon, because that's going to be a game changer for my eyes. And then our potato.
I just have one question on what motivates you?
Huh?
What motivates
To do what?
you? Anything.
What are you answering the question for?
It's for business class.
I mean, what motivates you? What motivates you to do the things that you do, like do good in school or do your best? What motivates you to do your best? Because I can answer what motivates me, but what would motivate you? So if you wanted to do your absolute best and you had to have a reason to do it, what would that reason be?
Because I have to.
That's not a motivation. I mean, that's one, but something else. Is this for your business project?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what would motivate you to want to have a successful business?
The thought of helping others.
There you go. What motivates me is having, let me see, how could I word this? What motivates me? I'm trying to word it. Hold on. The appreciation, or you can say what motivates me is the thought of knowing that I'm helping others to whatever your business is. Let's like with me, with hair care. What motivates me is knowing that I'm helping other men and typically women to regain their confidence and their freedom through their hair and their beauty. So whatever your business is, you'd add that to the words.
Okay. Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome. All right, so we have our aromatics. Okay, we're gonna just go ahead and season up our chicken by rubbing it all together. Okay, and how you can tell if it needs salt, weirdest way. It does need salt. So the good thing is the moon spice does not salt your food. It gives it flavor, but you can still add whatever salt you need. So I'm gonna add some pink Himalayan salt, which really still doesn't, it's not like iodized salt, okay? This is different from iodized salt. So really the salt is just gonna enhance the flavor in the food. But other than that, it needs no other spices. All right, so we're gonna let this sit as well while I cut my aromatics for my pepper steak. So I'm just gonna put this over here. Check on my peas, my coconut milk. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do our aromatics for our pepper steak. Now with the pepper steak, you're not gonna cut them really small because they will start to disappear in your pan. And hence the word pepper steak, okay? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and so this is gonna be in a separate bowl. Thank you, Charlotte. Your mouth is watering. All right, so for the pepper steak, you do wanna cut your aromatics a lot larger than normal. I'm gonna do the same thing with my garlic. Okay, so I'm gonna smash my garlic. Oh, stay where you are. Okay, rough chop. Put that into our bowl. Our onion, we're also going to kind of leave it large. So it's almost like a stir fry. Okay, so you want your onions in there. For our green onion, you don't want to cut this too small, but you don't want it to be super big either. So it's a nice roughness. And then peppers. So here's how we're gonna do the peppers. Nice size, okay? You don't want them to be too small, but as I said, you don't want them to be too big. If these slivers are too long, then you can also kind of cut them in half. Some of them I will, others I won't. Okay, so those are gonna go in there. Same thing with the bottom of my pepper. I'm not gonna throw it away. Okay, peppers. Why is my eyes burning again? Whew. All right. And then this one is kind of shaped weird, so I'm just gonna chop it on the biased. This is my yellow pepper. Now, of course, red peppers would be great. If you have red peppers, if you have all four colors of peppers, use them. I don't recall if I have any red peppers. I'm gonna check them. So right now, these are our aromatics for our pepper steak, but the red would definitely help. I do actually have a small red pepper. I'm gonna use it. One of those baby reds. So we're gonna use that. So we're gonna add that red. That red pepper gives it a little more sweetness too. So, but these are babies, so they're probably even sweeter. So that's our red. So there we have it, red, green, yellow, green onion or scallion, and a chopped onion. And then we also will have our Scotch bonnet pepper. I'm preferably going to use a red one so I know what it looks like. And I freeze mine in the freezer so that they don't go spoiled so quickly. And that's how I'm able to keep these year round, because I keep them in the freezer. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in the sink because we no longer need them. And we're gonna start our cooking. So I'm gonna check on our coconut milk and gungo peas. I'm gonna go ahead and wash my rice now, get that out of the way, so that once we start cooking, we are cooking and in business. And then our steak has been marinating. Look at that steak. Hey, Dad. So our steak has been marinating. Look at that. Okay, and then we have that, and we have our chicken. So let me get our rice. So we're gonna be using jasmine rice. And then I'm gonna use one more of my bowls that I have here to wash my rice. So I'm gonna do about 3 to 4 cups of rice. About that much. And in these storage containers that you guys see me with here, this is also in my Amazon store, and I use these on the counter. It keeps the counter nice and neat. It keeps all of my little things like my dry goods, all-purpose flour, white sugar, pasta, brown sugar, yellow rice, powdered sugar. So everything is labeled and pretty on that counter. Look at that. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and wash our rice. Before I wash my rice, I'm just gonna wash these out so I have some space. All right, let's see what's happening here. A suggestion when chopping onions, hold a toothpick between your teeth and you won't tear up. We don't have any toothpicks. We don't have any toothpicks. Hey, Dad. Yeah, no, keeping the stump on top will stop it from tearing up, but I always end up cutting it off because I just can't stand to see it. And then I always remember that if you keep the stump on it, it won't mess with your eyes, but I don't. Okay. All right, so let's go over here to our stove. Move you guys over here a little bit. All right, so let's start with our rice. I'm gonna turn my fire back up. I'm gonna get a fork. All right, so we have our peas and everything, all of that good stuff is cooking. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some water to it. This is boiled water, so the water is already boiled. So it's hot. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put in my rice. And then I'm gonna get some butter as well if you wanna taste your water to see if you need any salt. Yes, it does. So I'm gonna use a little adobo seasoning. the salt content because it does need some salt. And then let's get some butter. So I'm going to use, I like Kerrygold butter. So you use whatever butter you want. And then if you want to add some more coconut milk, you can add some more, which I'm going to add it now rather than later. And then of course, if I need more water, then I will add coconut milk mixed with water. All right, I'm going to turn it on, put my stove on. So now we're going to start our chicken. So I'm using my handy dandy Dutch pot. For those of you that know about the handy dandy Dutch pot, which I guess I'll put you guys over here so you can see a little bit better. Can you guys see well? All right, good. So we're gonna start the chicken. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my stove. So I put more water to boil just in case I need it. So while that's going, we're gonna go ahead and start our chicken, and then once our chicken has started, we'll start our steak. Alright, so I'm gonna put some vegetable oil in here. I'll bring you guys some more. Literally. Alright, so our pot is on. I'll get something to. So when you put your chicken in the pot, as we did the last time, you guys, just ensure that you don't put any of your aromatics in the pot at the same time. Can you tell the Dutch pot gets a lot of work? It does. It does. Alright, so while that's warming, for our steak, we're actually going to be using a cast iron skillet. So that is what we'll be using to do our steak. The only downside to it is the stove is not the largest, but this will work for our cast iron pan. Alright, so chicken wise, I'm going to go ahead and put my chicken in. And remember to scrape off any of the seasoning that's on the chicken. Scrape them off because they will end up burning in the pot. So those are going to go ahead and start to brown. And then on this side, I'm going to go ahead and add the cast iron skillet. And then I'm going to bring you guys over to this side so that you can see my cast iron skillet here. My rice has started to bubble. Yes, so I'm going to bring it down just a little bit and let this warm up. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook our steak first. So I'm going to let this get nice and warm. If the stove was big enough, I wouldn't really have a problem with it cooking on here, but it's not. Alright, that's it. So we're going to let that warm up. It's going to take a few minutes or a couple seconds well. And in the meantime, we'll wash our chicken. So I'm gonna bring my steak over. This is gonna cook really quickly, you guys. So that's another reason why I wanted to start all of this stuff first and then kind of do this last, because this takes no time. And then we're gonna use some more vegetable oil for the cast iron skillet. And the reason also I forgot to say, I did not add any salt to this because the sauce that we use to make the pepper steak uses soy sauce. Soy sauce is very, very salty. So that is going to be all the salt that we need. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of vegetable oil. Let's see if that's enough. It should be, but probably not. You want to at least coat the pan. And then because it's only a little bit of meat, we really don't even need a whole lot. Sorry, you guys. Adriana. So once I start to see the rice inside the pot with the coconut milk, I'm going to turn it down to like a medium low. Adriana. Oh, thank you. Check and see if the sheep have stopped and see if they're dry. If they're not dry, pull them out and then put them back in. Okay, so let's see if yeah, that's good. So we're gonna go ahead and add our steak. You don't want them to be on top of each other. You just kind of want them to spread apart. So I'm trying to kind of focus them over here because I know that this part of the pot is not actually on the heating element. So. This one is good. I'll cut that one. So you can tell that over here is not as hot as over there. Little piece that I have here, I'm just gonna cut it. I don't want it too big. And then let's check on our chicken here. Once I take those out, I'm gonna add some more oil to the pot. Alright, so I want you guys to look at my rice. You see how the rice is bubbling, bubbling, bubbling? I'm gonna turn it down. And then once I don't see the water on the side, I'm gonna put some foil paper over it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my chicken out. Remember, we're not cooking the chicken to eat it right now. We're frying it just for color. That's all, mainly color. Chicken smothered. Oh, it's coming along. Coming along. And then our chicken, that's done. Okay. So in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and make our sauce for our pepper steak. Okay. So I'm gonna use the same pan that I was using for the steak, and I'm going to get a cup of water, which is hot water. So I'll just use this just for the sake of this video. I'm gonna use about a cup and a half of hot water. Okay, I'm going to get some dark soy sauce. Okay, so I'm gonna add some dark soy sauce, some Worcestershire sauce, okay, I'm also gonna use some brown sugar, so the brown sugar, and then I'm gonna use some ketchup. So the ketchup, I'm gonna use about 3/4 a cup of ketchup, a 1/4 cup of it, okay, ketchup, and then the brown sugar. So I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon of brown sugar, but in my case it'll kind of be a tablespoon, but it's fine. And then I'm gonna add some dried moon spice. Okay, and when I say dried moon spice, literally a tablespoon skimmed off. Let me check on the food over here. Everybody's going. Let me check on my food. Okay, so while that's sitting, I'm gonna bring you guys back over here for a second. Our steak is done, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove our steak and turn my rice down. Okay, so the steak is done. Preferably you don't want to put it in this plate, but I'm just using it because I had already had it. For this same pan that we have our steak in, we're gonna go ahead and throw in our peppers, garlic, all of that good stuff. And I'm gonna use that excess oil that was sitting there just to kind of help move these bad babies around. I'm not gonna deglaze the pan yet, okay? Not yet. So what I am gonna do is I'm gonna take my top and put that on to let them sweat. So when you're doing your rice, you can do foil paper or you can do a plastic bag. I'm gonna do foil paper. Okay, this is just to help steam the rice. That's all. If you feel like you need to add water, you can. If you catch it at the right time, you might not even need to add water. And it's on low. And then for my chicken over here, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this piece over. This is the last of the chicken. Okay, so that's the last of the chicken that I'm frying. And we have everything in there. I already have my pot cover. So our steak is sitting here waiting with our scotch bonnet pepper. Okay? So the steak and the scotch bonnet pepper is right there. We're gonna finish up our sauce. Thank you guys. All right, we're gonna finish up our sauce. So I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic powder and then some onion powder. Okay? Also to that, I'm going to take my thyme. The thyme is gonna go in when the steak goes in. And then the same thing for our brown stew. I have my thyme. And that's gonna go in when we go to deglaze the pan. So for this, I'm just going to stir this up. The reason why you want it warm is so that it'll go ahead and melt that sugar. So the warm water matters, you guys. And then of course, if you want it to be darker, you can add a little bit of browning or you can add more soy sauce. I'm just gonna taste it to make sure that I don't need anything else. I feel like it could be slightly sweeter. Slightly. Slight. That's good. So I just put in maybe a teaspoon, if that was. Okay, so this is our sauce for our pepper steak, which we're gonna use in just a minute. All right, so let's check on our seasoning. This is our peppers. Go ahead and add in your scotch bonnet. And you can add in your thyme. Be careful of the scotch bonnet pepper. You just want it to start warming. That's all. You don't want it to burst. So be mindful of that scotch bonnet pepper. So our chicken is technically done. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and add in our sauce to our mixture of peppers here. Now remember, ketchup has high fructose corn syrup in it, so it kind of helps to thicken the food as well, or thicken your sauce. So we're gonna let this actually cook before we even put the steak back in there. I think I want it a little bit darker, so I'm gonna add a little bit of browning. If this is okay in regards to color, then don't worry about it, but I want it to get a little darker. So we're gonna leave the top off on purpose, okay, because we want it to draw down quickly. Alright, so we're gonna get ready for our chicken. I'm gonna go get some chicken stock. Alright. So I'm just cleaning up my area. Okay, you guys, so I'm gonna bring you over here to my chicken side. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and add my chicken and all of my aromatics into my pan. Okay, so we have our chicken. I have my chicken stock. So what I'm going to do is use my chicken stock to rinse out any extra seasonings before I put it in here. Now I have some pickle pepper sauce. You can use whatever you want. If I can get this open. Okay, so I'm gonna add some pickle pepper sauce, pica pepper, my dad's not so favorite, ketchup. My dad hates ketchup, this guys. But guess what I'm gonna do? Hold on, because I know my daddy hates ketchup. I'm going to still add ketchup. Yeah, and then to the ketchup, I'm gonna add a little bit of browning. You see? My dad is like scrunching up his head right now. Okay, so we're gonna make sure we get every drop of ketchup out of here. And then that's also browning at the same time. Yeah. So now we're going to actually cook down our chicken. Our pan is deglazed. Okay, I'm definitely gonna add some more chicken stock. There we go. All right, that's good. What, Christian? Make sure that both parts are plugged in all the way. And check the plug that you plugged it in too. Okay, so let's just check to see if we need any seasoning, right? Oh no, just don't need nothing. Actually, it could use a little salt. That's allowed. And then I'm going to add some Scotch bonnet sauce. This is how I measure my Scotch bonnet sauce, guys, okay? Because this thing has gotten away from me once before, and the food was seriously peppered, and I don't want that to happen again. So we're just gonna stir this around. My stove is turned down to medium, so this can go ahead and cook. Bubble, 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 bubble. These little black things, that was from the little seasonings that was on the chicken. Still gonna cook that one. All right, so we got our Dutch pot going. So we're gonna come back over here to our pepper steak, which this is now starting to draw down and create an actual sauce. You guys see how it's creating a sauce now? Okay, so now is when I'm gonna go ahead and add my steak back in. Stir that bad baby up. Make sure that this has, if this bursts, you'll know because it deflates. So now we're gonna use the little sauce that's left, and I'm gonna cover this and let it cook for maybe 5 more minutes. Okay, if you want your steak to be more tender, then you can add water and let it cook a lot longer, but I'm not gonna do that because we already pre-cooked the steak and let it rest. So the steak is in good position. Okay, so that's our pepper steak right there. We're gonna put our cover to our cast iron on. Let's check on our rice, which rice is going on good. Look at that rice. Boy, our rice, man, I think it does need a little bit of water. So what I'm going to do is, because I can tell on the edges that it's not done, I'm going to make some more water. So I'm going to add the rest of my coconut milk. Okay, and then I have boiled water already. You don't need that much, okay? So just a little bit, literally. Add little salt, little bit, literally. Okay, so the water is hot. You guys tell? And then what I'm gonna do is add, you can tell it needed some more water. There we go. And we're gonna go ahead and put our salt paper back on. Make sure the lid is nice and tight. Turn that down to low. I'll make that go and do its thing. Whew. Yeah, Grandma didn't use ketchup, but I use ketchup. Simply stunning on another level. Yum. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I still have a little bit left if I need more water. I don't think I will need any more, but I still have some left. And I'm just going to start putting away my seasonings. I don't don't need them any longer. And then we have our moon spice, the dry and the wet. So both of these will go into the cabinets. So you can use the dry one if you are making like fried chicken. Maybe you need to season your flour. They give you the option to be able to use it in the dry form or in the wet form. I like the wet form when I'm making like basically anything. And then I just showed you guys that you can use the dry form, which is what I use to season up the steak. It also helps to tenderize the food, just like a meat tenderizer. You can add salt, as you guys can tell. It doesn't contain a high salt content, so you can control your salt. For those of you that cannot have a high salt content, it's great for you because it has just enough salt in it where it's not salty, but you can still add more if you choose to. Do I cook every day for my family? Not every day. At least 4 to 5 days out of the week, I do. At least that much. Alright, so I'm just gonna clean these things up so the counter is nice and clean. Let's check on our chicken here, which the chicken looks good. I'm not even focused on the chicken. Let me bring you guys to see this chicken, okay? And I'm gonna turn my stove to about medium and close that baby up. All right. Thank you. You're so pretty and can cook to your husband and kids too. Thank you, Deborah. Growing up in Jamaica, we didn't have salads with dinner, more like steamed veggies. You're an excellent teacher, whether on here or cooking. Thank you. Ketchup and browning was a no-no in Grandma's kitchen. But Daddy, you use browning, so don't come quote Grandma because you used browning. All right, so let me just wash these dishes while you guys are talking. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put these away because these are cold items. So we're gonna put our green seasoning back. For shit. No. You're very organized. I could tell that you like that in everything, the way you are with your clients and so on. You know, I'm actually very unorganized. I'm trying to make myself more organized, which was one of the things that I said about the kitchen. I wanted to have my organization down packed, so that's the reason why I got like those storage containers and all that stuff. That's the reason why I put names on everything. Like that was like something that I told myself that I was gonna do. Be more organized. So I'm just washing up my pan. That's another reason why I like these stainless steel pans, right? So these pans, let me show that to you. These pans, they wash really easily and they don't have that greasy residue on it like the plastic does. The stainless steel doesn't do that. All right, let's go check on our food. I think my pepper steak is all done, so I'm gonna turn that off. So definitely the pepper steak is all done, and I'm gonna take this pepper out because it has now deflated. Look at that, pepper steak. You guys gonna see that? Look at that. Whoa. So that's all done. Turn on the stove with my chicken. All right, my stove has been turned down to low with the chicken. And then let's check our rice, which I know my rice is going on good, but I'm gonna check it anyway. Rice, look at rice. Yeah, rice. Okay. So our pepper steak's done, chicken's almost done. I turned it down to low. That's ready. And then rice is on low, so that's almost ready too. Thank you. So back to cleaning off this counter and stuff. I'm just gonna give the chicken some more time, and then I will share out a plate so you guys can see what it looks like. Oh, friends, can you imagine how that tastes the next day after the seasonings have gotten together? Listen, the next day it's even better. Can no sodium beef broth replace the hot water for the steak sauce? Absolutely. You can use broth. Instead of even adding more seasoning, you can use regular sodium beef broth and do the same thing. Just more flavor. It's not really a wrong and right way. It's the flavor. Happy Sunday, Crystal. I'm watching you cook when I should in the kitchen. Cooking my Sunday dinner. You guys are funny. Yeah, it's only about to be 2 o'clock, so dinner is done. I can actually sit on my butt, drink juice, watch TV, because the food will be all done, so I won't even have to do any of that. The leftovers are typically the best. So I'm gonna show you guys when I say I've been working to be very organized. Like it has gotten into a thing for me. Like it's now a thing, right? So let me turn on this light. So in here, I have basically began this organization thing. So these I got from Amazon. They're on the Amazon store. So these are all the snacks. Same thing here. All the ramen, mac and cheese, applesauce, and then we also do first in, first out. So these were here first. That's why they're here first. These are almost done, so I'm not getting any more until they finish them out. Same thing with the can organizer. So we have all the cans here. Like all of the cans are there. Same thing with the paper towels, the water, all of my oils. All of the oils are here. This technically is supposed to be over here, but we don't really use those a lot. So all of the oils are there. Cereal, all of the pastas and the rices, those are also there. Sauces, all of that goes in one place. Like the juices, same thing. So I have become this organization crackhead. Yeah, like it's intense. Dad, I'm gonna freeze yours and send it for you. So I've been really getting into the organization thing. All right, so here's our chicken. I just always use my spoon to skim the bottom, just in case there's something sticking. So the chicken is good. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah, okay? So I'm gonna give that like 5 more minutes before I share anything from it. And then our pepper steak, I turned off the stove so that it's now done. So the pepper steak is all done. I'm gonna take this out because this gets aggravating. So that's our pepper steak. Yeah. Tessa, if you use the first link that is in the description box, it will take you to my link tree where you will see my Amazon store for any of the kitchen finds. You can go right into my Amazon store and get all of the kitchen finds, including that storage rack for the cans. And then my rice. Yeah, this rice look good. I'm gonna start taking out these twiggies because they drive me crazy. This is from the thyme. How's my rice looking, Daddy? Is my rice looking okay? Is my rice looking okay? Yeah, we need some plantain, but we don't have any. I'm waiting on my father to tell me how my rice look. If my rice look good. Said, how long did it take her to finish this meal? We've been on here an hour and 20 minutes. Did you include a vegetable or salad with dinner? No, not today. Not today. No veggie today. Yes, J.A. Scott's J.A. Scott. Trying to keep it organized has helped me a lot because I can now see everything that's missing. Like you can tell what you need. And then sometimes, of course, you're human, but you can tell what you need. Everything looks delicious. We'll be trying to make the chicken and the rice soon. Yay! Let me get close to this rice. I'm waiting on my dad to tell me how my rice looks because he hasn't said anything yet. So I'm going to take off the foil because technically the rice is done. Put the bubble on, put the bubble, put it bubbling. Ooh. Oy. Thank you, Father. As long as you said my rice is good, then the rice is good. All right. Did everyone click the like button for this live? I hope so. I truly hope everyone clicked it. Watch this. Let's see if they... Hey, girls. You guys ready to eat? Alex? Okay. Adriana, did you check the bedding? All right, check it again. It just stopped. Thank you guys. New to your channel, first love it here. I'm a wig maker out in Jersey. I want my channel to be 100% of my life, hair, business, fashion, DIYs. Finding your channel shows that I can do it. Thank you. Almighty, you absolutely can. Yep, teeth and gums. Yummy, delicious looking. You can use my kitchen the next time, okay? Okay. Rice and everything looks delicious. Thank you guys. I'm going to actually share the food now. So you guys can kind of just like see everything. Huh? Okay. Put them on the blue sofa. And then put Christian stuff in there. All right, so let's go ahead and start sharing our food. While the chicken is going, I'm gonna start with the rice. Now, I'm not gonna do any fancy plating today, you guys. So, we just plating the food. Okay. I'm just taking out any thyme sticks that I see. I think you want more rice than that because I know him. I'm not really eat the rice like that. And then the kiddos' plates. I know Christian, he's not gonna eat a lot of rice. So those are the pimento seeds, you guys. Nobody wants to eat them. All right. And I'm gonna move Julie's plate over because this is for the kiddos and myself. So pepper steak. They love steak, so I'll give them more steak than me. And then lastly, chicken. So I'm gonna put Julie's plate. Get a big spoon. That spoon has holes in it. You know what? I'll just use the right spoon. So that is the brown stew chicken with rice and gungo peas. And then for me and the kitties, guys, they seem to love chicken legs for some reason or another. Adriana, Alex, Christian. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna put those there. And then this one is mine, so you can see mine. I'm not gonna end up eating all of this all at once, but I'll share it out anyway. We like gravy on our food. We don't like dry food. And I like potatoes. All right. So there is our pepper steak, brown stew chicken with rice and gungo peas. Here you go, my love. Just go down. Hold it properly.
Took my hair out.
Okay, baby. This is for Adriana. And then these are for the kiddos. You see what I eat? I'm chest high. Give me a paper plate to put over your brother's food because he's not ready to eat. Okay. Here's your plate, dear Adriana. All right, you guys. So we are done cooking. Hey, T82. My Grandpa said he's heading to the microwave. He didn't cook today. He's going to the microwave. Could I get some bubbly today, please? Yes, honey, that's a gravy. A little more on the beans and rice mix. I'll sit down and share. Well, for me, I must put hot sauce. So my food must have pepper. Yeah, I'm gonna drink some bubbly.
Some sparkling grape juice.
Some bubbly.
Sparkling grape juice.
It's called bubbly.
Sparkling grape juice.
Can I get some bubbly, please?
Sparkling grape juice.
What is in the fridge, please?
There's definitely says bubbly. It's a sparkling.
Put it in the fridge.
It's a sparkling red grape juice on.
Can I get some ice for my bubbly, please? You're a supermodel. I wish I could be like you. It looks scrumptious. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So I hope you guys enjoyed Cook With Me today. I am going to go and sit down and relax my mind and just eat my food and woosah. But I appreciate you guys for being on live. Also, all of the tools you guys saw me using today is available on the link in my description box, which is my link tree. The link tree will take you to my Amazon store. It also takes you to our website. It takes you to my other YouTube channel for the green seasoning, all of that good stuff. So you guys go enjoy your Sunday and have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. Tomorrow's Monday, so enjoy your little Sunday while you can. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.